15 Weird Games Kids Played. According to Reddit. Number 15. We didn't really have a name for it, but when we were on the playground for recess in elementary school, we would play this game where one of us would go about halfway down the tube slide, where it's like one big hollow tube like what you'd see at a water park, just not as big, obviously. Then, someone would slide down as fast as they could and try to dislodge the first dude. Usually he would fail, and then another would come down and try to dislodge the first two guys. Then another, until Big Mikey would come down and we'd all fly out of the bottom of the slide like freshly unclogged pipe. This was because Big Mikey was like 5 times bigger than the other kids. Oh yeah, I think we called it unclog the pipe, which sounds pretty gay now that I think about it as an adult. Number 14. I have a thing for trying tournaments. I don't know what it is, but I love brackets. I've read books with nothing but brackets of random shit. Best vegetable or best vacation spots, shit like this. On my summer breaks from school, I would stay up super late, like 6 a.m., and I would spend my time playing the tournament game while listening to sports talk radio. Basically, I would write down the names of my friends and people I knew and fill out a bracket. I'd flip a coin to see who won. The first round started as a best of 5 and they progressively got longer, with a loser's bracket that was best out of 3. When a player got enough flips in his or her favor, they would move to the next round. This is ridiculous. This guy just liked brackets, so he would write down people's names as if they were entering into a tournament and then flip a coin to see who won. This seems insane. Boy. Number 13. My horses. Whenever we were on a road trip, or honestly on any sort of drive, my family would try and spot horses before anyone else did. You had to shout, "My horses," and then count them. It was a running tally, but no one really kept score once the trip finished. Whoever had the most was the winner. There was a way to get back in the game, however. If you drove past a graveyard or church cemetery, you could yell, "Bury your horses," and everyone who had horses could go back to 0, except the one who spotted the cemetery. It was a cutthroat game, and if someone had a lot of horses, then the whole family would be on high alert looking for cemeteries. It was a fun way to pass the time. I've unconsciously played this game in friends' cars because I'm so conditioned at this point, and it scared the shit out of them, haha. It was dead quiet, and we drove past a farm, and I ain't giving up a chance to get ahead, and got my friends playing it now, and I'll keep the tradition alive. Bury your horses, guys. Number 12. The bomb game. Don't play it at an airport. We threw a ball around, and if you got hit, you had to lie on the ground for 5 seconds before returning to the game. My sister and I, and our brother-like cousins, would play this against our uncles, and although I'm pretty sure if we actually kept score, we kicked their asses. Eventually, I just wanted to review that to make sure I read it properly. Although I'm pretty sure if we actually kept score. Eventually, all the uncles and my dad joined in. The youngest uncle joined the kids team. He told us that he played the bomb game in high school. And we wanted him on our team because he was more like the biggest kid. It eventually became a family tradition back in the day when the family actually saw each other. We threw a ball around, and if you got hit, you had to lie on the ground for 5 seconds before returning to the game. Seems pretty lame, bruh. Number 11. My cousin and I used to play witches. We basically made like 1,000,000 poems about wishing harm on everyone that we hated, and would run around in the forest cursing them. Kyle does not condone the act of playing witches with anyone. We also did more wholesome stuff like picking up twigs and leaves to put in our potion pots. The potions, the strongest potions were also usually to curse people, though. Okay. Number 10. We made up a game called Camera Tag. Basically hide and seek, but it would have to be in the dark and you had to have a camera. If you spot someone, you have to take a picture of them with the flash on. If they're in the picture, they get caught and they're out. What? Someone said back in my day we'd have to wait a week or two after to see who won, because the film would take that long to develop. Number 9. It's not what it sounds like, but my cousin and I used to play the underwear game. You go on to say. We would go into her laundry room, which was in the basement, so there was ample room, and both of us would grab someone's used underwear from the hamper. Oh my god. Then we'd fight each other trying to get the underwear over the other's head. Obviously it was disgusting and had to stop when someone caught us playing it. Someone said, Jesus Christ, kids are gross. Oh, that's not a real subreddit. Kids are fucking gross. Alright. Number 8. My brother and I would throw a bouncy ball at the stairs and then try to be the first to track it down. This kept us busy for hours. Someone says, are you a golden retriever by any chance? Oh my god. Number 7. We would take Dad's snuff can full of rocks and tape it shut. Then we would all face the same way as a designated person threw the can way out in the open pasture at night. All players set out to find it, and if you picked it up and made it back to the finish line, it was a point. The rocks were audible if shaken. If you were able to tackle the runner before they crossed the line, no points and a rethrow. The first to 5 points won, or the first to break a bone lost. Sounds about right. Look, the only one I like so far is my horses, because it's ridiculous. Number 6. My sister and I created the Slug Wars. Basically, 2 combatants got backwards. No, that's what it says. 2 combatants got backwards into a sleeping bag so that their feet were hanging out of the head hole. Then, you blindly battle to the death. Great times. Well, this is ridiculous, but I can't say I like it. I guess I'm hard to please. Number 5. My cousin and I were convinced that his neighbor's house had diamonds in the garden. We found a bunch of shiny diamond-shaped things in their yard scattered in random places. We used to dig up the dirt, hoping no one would notice, to find more of these diamonds. I think we found 10, and we split them in half. We would come back again and again looking for them. We made a promise not to tell any other kids or our parents about them. One day my mom found one of my diamonds in the pocket of my trousers and asked me if she should throw it. I was shocked. Why would she want to throw away an expensive diamond? Turns out they were glass teardrop pieces of an old chandelier that someone threw away. I was so disappointed because we even planned to buy a Lamborghini with the money. Now that's adorable. That's the typical kind of wholesome kid garbage you expect to find on a list like this. Number 4, I tied my arms and legs to a lawn chair, and then we would throw ourselves into a pool and had to get ourselves out before we drowned. Now this is, what did you grow up in the 70s? Jesus Christ, that sounds pretty hardcore. Someone says this is so dumb. Something my brothers and I would totally have done. Oh, God. Someone says, haha, Drew lost. Just look at that loser down there. Points to the bottom of the pool. And then somebody writes, Elon starts laughing, which of course is a reference to that video that I didn't watch where I think him and the voice actor for Rick and Morty react to memes. What is the internet? Number 3. When Addie, the first black American doll, came out, my friend and I became fascinated with her stories about escaping from slavery. Wow, there was like a black doll that was loaded with slavery exposition. That's pretty cool. We would spend hours playing the slave game. What? Pretending we lived on a plantation. Oh no. Once her dad realized what we were doing, he helped us by giving us real slave chores. Oh. To make our game more realistic. Our dumbass 8-year-old selves were folding laundry and raking leaves until it was the right time in the game to flee the plantation for the Underground Railroad. Bruh. Our parents would then pack us slave snacks in case we got hungry on the journey. We'd be having the time of our lives munching on a dry piece of white bread while our brothers ate Dunkaroos and laughed in our faces. Somebody said, I'm cracking up at the real slave chores. Did you really write crack? You know, did you really write crack like the whip and not the licorice whip? Boom, doom, 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 doom. Somebody responds, yeah, but can you imagine if a neighbor asked the kids why they were suddenly so well behaved and they excitedly responded, we're dad's slaves? Oh my God. Somebody says directed by Larry Bird. Yeah, you play the Curb Your Enthusiasm. Boom, boom, boom. Number 2, elevator. Someone would go into the furnace room, shut the door, and they were in the elevator. The rest of us would rearrange the family room and bring in different props to demonstrate that we were on a different floor. We changed outfits and accents. I like this one. It's adorable. We played this for a good year. Wow. Just closing a door and then they rearrange furniture and change clothes. Ridiculous. Someone says this is pretty hilarious and very imaginative. I'm reminded of the David S. Pumpkins skit on SNL. What? I think I remember looking this up one day when somebody else mentioned it. It was the dumbest thing ever, but Tom Hanks is in it. So it was pretty amusing. I think I like the music. Number 1. We were inadvertent LARPers. My friend lived on a mini farm. They had chickens, llamas, and goats, and his mom would make up Ziploc bags of Monopoly money and hide them all over the place. We would go out and fight imaginary bad guys and then find bags of money so we could upgrade our gear. I was the cleric, so I started off with a staff, which I upgraded to silver, duct tape on the ends. Then later to metal. We hammered Mountain Dew cans as metal ends to the pieces. We made suits of armor out of cardboard boxes, which we upgraded similarly. The best was the road by his house. It was a river, and whenever a car would go by, it would represent some sahags, water monsters, jumping out. So we would come flying out of the bushes and start swinging our homemade weapons like crazy people. It was the early 90s, and in the middle of nowhere. Well, as long as you guys had fun. Live action role-playing for little kids. Ain't that something? Well, guys, I hope you enjoyed this quick list. You may not be hearing from me for a while because I've had a family emergency, so, you know, gotta take care of things, and I wish you all the best. Special thanks to everyone, and I hope to see you all soon. I want to thank my sponsors on YouTube. I want to thank my Twitch subs, and I want to thank my patrons for keeping me afloat in these horrifying times. Take it easy, thank you. And to those of you who may be, off-stream contributing via Streamlabs, I appreciate you as well. That being said, take it easy. Get a hold of me if you need me, and you'll hear from me soon. Bye.